What's up YouTube, ODST General back again, and today we have another Operation Trebuchet news update. So starting us off basically right away, we have Freeman with the VK-78 Commando, and with the Commando, it is getting some new textures already. Obviously the textures for this thing were just done very recently, as the weapon itself was a recent addition. With that being said, however, since High has left the Operation Trebuchet dev team, there will no longer be a policing faction, I do believe, and there probably won't be a insurrectionist faction based off of it. So Freeman's gone back and he's taken the policing skins out from what I understand, and the insurrectionist variant, which was the police version with blood spatter, has been changed to this version, which is the standard olive green coloring for it with a big, really bright red stripe on the front for the insurrectionists. So it's a very vibrant color. I actually think I do like this texture pattern more. It definitely also feels a lot more detailed and higher quality than the previous ones, which weren't bad, but something about this just feels a lot nicer, and I definitely dig it. Then, sticking with weapons, and speaking of High, we have the M739 Saw. The Saw was actually just recently featured for another mod, the Carver Findings, and it's pretty exciting stuff. You know, it's a cool weapon. It was actually done previously by one other mod, but it was much lower quality than this version. Now, obviously, right now, the Carver Findings, you can go out and you can use the Saw and play with it. With the Operation Trebuchet version, that will ultimately be different than the one in the Carver Findings. It's got a different config that the Operation Trebuchet dev team is doing, so it's the same model, but the weapons will probably be functionally different to some extent. Obviously, it is a squad automatic weapon, so it's going to, you know, serve a very similar role, but the exact fire rate, recoil, stuff like that is probably going to vary from, you know, each of these weapons. So, kind of curious to see what those differences actually look like once we see both of them in the game. Then we also see an MA5 reload that has been created. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the developer who created this. I'm not sure who it is. It was posted by a friend of theirs who said that they were going to be donating it to the Operation Trebuchet dev team. So, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance before I had to record to get the person's name, and I forgot to do so. So I do apologize if the creator or somebody who knows the creator happens to be watching this video and you guys want to get credit for it. Just let me know. We can pin it in the comments or something like that. But it's really cool stuff. I really like the reloads. Obviously, you know, it's one of those things, it's not going to make or break a game, but it looks nice. It's that little bit of extra immersion that just really makes it feel that much better, and it's a nice high quality reload. I'm trying to think. I know some of the reloads were redone a little while back. I think Rob had been redoing some of the reloads at one point in time too, but yeah, I can't remember if this was one that had been done or not previously, or what had happened with it. I thought it had been, but nonetheless, it's still really cool, and I really like it. Then we swing back on over to Freeman, and he has upgraded the ammo packets. So on screen we have the original ammo packets, and then we have the new ones. And there's obviously some color differences, and then we've got you know, some minor graphical differences. Obviously the graphics are fairly similar. I don't think the nutritional facts on there have changed at all, although they flipped upside down on the one for the unwrap. But other than that, it's pretty cool looking. Definitely a big improvement on the new one here, but all of it's pretty gorgeous. I'm pretty excited to see what this actually looks like in game and how that turns out once it's in Arma's engine. Then switching over to something a teeny bit bigger, we have the Visegrád relay, which is being implemented. Now, I'm not sure who made this, and I'm not sure where it kind of came from. I don't recall anybody working on this recently. Obviously, Thomas has pulled a lot of stuff just out of storage, essentially, I guess you could call it, out of the bin of Optray of stuff that's just been stuck in development hell because, you know, the people made it didn't know how to do config work or whatever, and so it just got kind of sat there. So, you know, it's a new structure. I'm always excited for that. It's going to be probably a little bit tougher to put this in just random missions, but it'll probably make a pretty good background prop, I think, and I'm definitely thinking there's some spots that could probably use it in, you know, some of these maps, like some of Night Wizard's maps would probably see an upgrade like this with, like, some of his relays that he has. Nonetheless, it's a very cool prop. It's very large, obviously, just looking at the air traffic control tower nearby. It's a pretty big building, but not much else to say. So we're going to go ahead and switch gears and move over to First Contact, and there's not a whole lot to show there, but we have a couple of things. So starting us off, we have a set of bridges by Nightovisor. These are obviously bridges inspired from, or basically taken from, Assault on the Control Room. They come in two flavors, and it is basically 2-story and 1-story bridges. And they're pretty cool. Now, unfortunately, while these are in the development build already, you guys can go out and play with them. That's updates come out, and that's where I've gotten the B-roll footage from. You're going to encounter issues because they don't have any LODs and they have no collision, so they don't actually work right now. They're just aesthetic props. I'm sure they're going to have collision later on, but I don't know how long we'll have to wait for that. But nonetheless, still really cool. I'm pretty excited for that. There was also changes to the Banshee, though I'm not 100% sure what they entail, so I'm not going to really talk about that. But what we are going to talk about is Lee's Covenant Corvette, which he's talked about, and I believe we've shown a little bit off in the past, but he posted a new image of it, 3D render of it, and pretty exciting stuff. It's looking really good. There's not a whole lot to say, again, because it is a 3D render. This thing's been getting worked on for a while. I'm guessing we still won't see it for quite a while, but in the meantime, it's a great looking model and it's a new image, so let's go ahead and show it off. Alright guys, so we're going to switch gears and move over to community. So as the community side of things go, we have the Carver findings, which had a update. Now, I actually did a showcase for this. It's actually uploaded onto YouTube. I've been so busy with work, I haven't actually had a chance to release the video, create the thumbnail, and all that stuff, so that will be coming along at some point here, but it has updated since I did my video, and it's added in new factions and stuff like that, so I've got some screenshots that were sent over to me by Baseplate for that, so that's pretty cool stuff. Then we go over to the first MEU, and we actually showed off some of the stuff previously and some teases, so let's go ahead and talk about some of this. Now, one of the previous videos we had showed off a giant needler hitting a pelican in the air, and we were trying to figure out what it was from because it had been teased but never confirmed. We now know this was from an anti-air variant of the Ghost. Well, we do have a Needler Ghost already. That one is an anti-ground unit. These new Ghosts have Needler launchers mounted onto the back that face up into the air, and they're able to fire Needlers at vehicles and take out aerial vehicles. A small group of these things is absolutely devastating. While flares and stuff will help avoid and distract the Needlers, you're not guaranteed safety by any means when you're facing these things. They are very devastating. I've seen just a small group of them, the 3 of them, as you guys are probably going to watch in this video here, just decimate UNSC Air Forces. So definitely something that you're going to want to prioritize when you're in missions and stuff. If you can see these things and you have air support, you're going to want to make sure that these things are taken care of before you actually start trying to bring in air units. But it's really cool. It's actually a lot of fun to watch these things firing their Needlers and stuff like that. So I think you guys are going to probably have a lot of fun with this stuff too. And then we have the Sentinels. So we kind of talked about the Sentinels previously in another video based off the shadows and some teases we'd gotten. There is 3 new Sentinels which have been added to the first MEU mod pack, which is the Golden Aggressor Sentinels, or the Sentinel Majors. These are the gold ones that you see in Halo 2 with the blue beams. They've been added. Defender Sentinels, which are the very tiny Sentinels you see in Halo 2 that are doing like repairs and stuff like that. They've been added in. And then, actually, I think those are the same ones that do the repairs. I could be wrong. They're small little ones that they fire kind of a yellowish beam. They're kind of neat, though. And then the biggest one is the Super Sentinel from Halo Wars that's been added in. And the Super Sentinel is pretty awesome. It's just a big vehicle-destroying Sentinel. It's got a lot of power to it. It can take out... I've watched it take out Wraith tanks in basically one shot and just disable them. Not necessarily completely destroy, but... it is capable of just, knocking out vehicles in a hit or two, and it's got, all sorts of secondary weapons mounted onto it too, so it can also deal with a lot of smaller infantry and stuff as they dismount. So just one of these things is really devastating, and then you add this in with another group of Sentinels, or you add in a couple of these things. It's a pretty scary vehicle, I think, for a lot of a lot of people to be facing off against, basically regardless of what you are. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this one though. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, of course, just like always, I want to know what you guys got most excited for from today's video. What you guys want to see the most going forward with more Halo content on Armor. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Take it easy.